Good morning, traders. Welcome to PrivateerFX weekly preview. Quite a few headlines out over the weekend. There was an article in Wall Street Journal that stated Trump is leaning towards Powell for the next Fed chair. We are expecting this announcement out any day now ahead of his trip to Asia. So if it is Powell, it's kind of more of the same and not expecting huge market moves. The outlier or the market moving decision would be if he chose John Taylor. And I think you'd see a big move higher in the dollar, and rates and U.S. rates go up, and you'd probably get a decent correction in this recent run up in the stock market as stocks closed out on the highs of the all-time high closes, all-time high weekly closes. We'll take a look at those charts in a little bit. We also have the Bob Miller investigations. There was a headline that came out saying that he is ready to make his first arrest. This is coming from Special Prosecutor Miller, who's in charge of the Russian investigation. The buzz kind of surrounding it is it will not be a high-level Trump official. Some people were speculating that it could be Paul Manafort or any number of others that were involved with Trump's campaign. One other thing regarding the next Fed chair announcement, it sounds like U.S. Treasury Secretary Mnuchin has suggested that there will only be the chair announcement this week. So once they get that sorted, then they would look to the vice chair. So we could see a Powell and Taylor chair, vice chair, which would be kind of interesting. Probably cause a little bit of volatility, as that would change the look of the board. Starting in February when Yellen's term is up. As far as data coming up, one more headline from the RBNZ. The new finance minister, Grant Robertson, said in a television interview on Sunday, he was asked if they would be looking for lower interest rates, and he said yes, potentially, since their new mandate is now reforming the Reserve Bank of New Zealand's monetary policy mandate, could potentially result in lower rates, as the central bank is trying to target full employment and price stability. So these are still some headlines that we need to pay attention to, because they do have a new government forming there, and they may have more control over the RBNZ. So we'll be keeping a close eye on, during the Asian hours, especially for anything coming out of New Zealand. As far as the economic calendar and event risk ahead this week, we've got several central bank announcements. We've got the BOJ is on Tuesday. That would be Wednesday morning Asia time. We have the FOMC on Wednesday afternoon North America time. Not expecting anything there. Bank of England is on Thursday. We are expecting a hike from Carney and crew. So that could be an interesting day. We could see if he delivers a dovish hike. And then we have NFP wage data on Friday. We also have PCE coming up Monday morning, North America, and some ISM numbers coming out of North America, and some more PMIs coming out of pretty much globally next week. So the calendar's pretty stacked with event risk. Not sure how market moving any of it really will be, but we will need to be spending some time in front of the screens this week, and in particularly looking for this Fed chairman headline, which should be due out in the next few days. When we take a look at the charts that I have up here, are the weekly charts from last week, and there seems to be a common theme here. Here's the dollar yen as a reversal lower week after a gap higher open, and it failed once again up at this 114.50 level, which is now, as you can see here, is a triple top. This is a real big area here. If we can get above it, I think we go back, we test into year end. I think we can test as high as 119, 120. But it looks like as of last week's bearish bar, we maybe have a little bit of a correction back down to this 112 handle. We'll take a look at some shorter term pivots there. Here is the euro yen. Similar to the dollar yen, we have several weekly highs up here at 134.50 area. So again, reversal week lower, almost an outside reversal week lower from this extremely important double or triple top. So you're seeing more yen strength there against the euro, and here is the sterling yen, a reversal week lower as well. So again, the theme here is stronger yen on the week after initially opening the week with a weaker yen. Here's a 10-year notes, the U.S. 10 years. We had pushed down, we had broken some key support levels, came up and had a pretty strong recovery on Friday. So we'll be watching that closely. Here's Aussie Kiwi. Aussie was the weakest currency on the board last week against everything. Aussie, even Aussie Kiwi, that's been on a nice little march higher, the past few months. Stalled up here near 113 and reversed lower. And you can see here, this is now this isn't coming from the high of the move, but we had a 2-week run up in Aussie yen and made a new high last week and then reversed well below it. Actually took out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks of lows. So this is showing up as Aussie was a very weak across all currencies last week. So we're trying to play that from the short side. Take a look at some horizontals here. We highlighted this 134.50 level in euro yen. Downside, we've got 132. The figure, what is it? 131.75, 65.75 is the support here, and this looks like we could be taking this out in the next day or so. So we'll be looking for entries there on the short side in euro yen. Let's pop back over to, here's our dollar yen. We've had this line drawn for quite some time. This 113.25 is a big level. So we'll be looking for entries, short entries under these levels here. And we have that's the dollar yen, euro dollar, very weak after the ECB meeting. We had these breaks that we spoke about through 117.50, and then the bigger one, the big neckline on the dailies, head and shoulder pattern, came in at 117.25, and once we broke it, we just really haven't recovered. We had a little bit of a bounce here from the 115.75 level during North America, but this still looks heavy. Dollar Swiss is interesting. If we pop over to the let's take a look here at the daily dollar Swiss. I noticed this, and we'll then look at the dollar index. Here's a daily dollar Swiss. This is Friday's bar. This is at a monster run up. Swiss weakness has been carrying on for several weeks now. Made a new high close to 100.50. 37 was the high, and reversed lower on the day. And we're seeing a little bit of early strength here in Asia, but this is something that we'd be paying close attention to after this huge bar up. If we can get a red bar today, under Friday's lows, maybe get a close somewhere down here in the 99.50. That's not a great looking pattern for the bulls. So we'd expect that to kind of get back down into these old highs at 98.37. Also got the 200-day down at 98.12. So we'd expect a for deeper pullback on in dollar Swiss. We also have month-end fix is coming up on Tuesday, which is Halloween here in the United States, and there could be some interesting flows because we did have, we had seen some big moves in stocks and bonds this month, so there could be some decent rebalancing. And here's the S&P chart I was referring to earlier, where we made a new high daily close all time, and as you can see here, after a rough start to the week where we went down and tried to, at one point, I believe it was Tuesday, we had a outside reversal week lower forming in euro, but we did hold this key 25.41.50, I believe, was the low of the week, and then ended up closing and made a new closing high, all-time closing high. So, we've been waiting for reversal patterns, and just looking at this chart, there just aren't a lot of red bars. A couple little indecision areas here and here, and it just keeps trucking. That's the weekly, the S&P. Well, that should do it. Good luck in the week ahead, and keep an eye out on Twitter, and we will be posting our normal videos as the week progresses. Have a great week. Thanks.